Welcome to Yeshiva Daf, Shir sponsor, Leilu Nishmas Arabiak Shalom Nabas Yitzchok. We're holding in Bava Daf Ayin Dalet. Now we're Mamish here in the middle of a sugya. The Gemara is just in the middle of a sugya, that's where we are. But we will jump into it from where we're starting at Daf Ayin Gimel based on the last line. And we're talking about what's the case. Let's go review the case. The case is, you have two eidim that said that the Adon removed a eye of the Evet and a tooth of the Evet. So the thing is that they have to pay for that extra, they have to pay for an eye to the Evet. What's the case? So it must be that there's a contradiction. What do you mean there's a contradiction? Two eidim say there was an eye, then a tooth. Then the other eidim say it was a tooth and an eye. And the second, so you know what happens? The first eidim that said eye and a tooth, they wanted the Evet to get only the value of the tooth. The second eidim that said tooth and the eye, they wanted the Evet to get the value of the eye, which is more. They both say the slave is going to be released because either the tooth was, once you take out a tooth or an eye, the Evet is released. So either it was tooth and then eye, so it's released because of the tooth and you pay the value of the eye, or it's the eye and the tooth, so the eye releases and the tooth gives you the value of the tooth. So that's the contradiction here, and the one wanted to bring down regarding Hazom. Rava wanted to understand that we're talking about here, what Rava wanted to bring a raya that Chosh Chesazom. What does Chosh Chesazom means? When Eidim are contradicted, and then they have their Muzam, they have Azama, so then the Azama works. Now what's the raya over here? In the stands, we're talking about three-stage process. There was a testimony, there was a Chosha, and then there was a Azama. You see the Azama works. Says Abaye, no, it was only a two-stage process. That's what we learned in the Daf. Says the Gemara, so Abaye says that Sabina is only a two-stage process. There's only two eidim. The second set of eidim, what they did was, they denied the first eidim, and they did Azama, and they said what you said was wrong, was opposite. Says the Gemara, that's Daf and Dal and Daf. With the Sefer basic of Azama, Reisha Nami Mecha Azama. The same way, the next part of the Brisa talks about that you turned around and you did Azama. Also, the Reish is talking about turn around and did Azama. How do you see it? Look at the next part of the Brisa. Meidenu is ish ploini shepil shen avdoi vesima esenoi sharia evet oimerken. Right? Come here, even say, took in the tooth, that took in the eye, the other took in the eye. And the Evet is very happy about it because he's being not only released, he's getting the value of the eye, which is $100. Finim zu zoimim, they found their zoimim. They pay the master the eye. So what's the case? If the second set of eidim do not agree with the first set of eidim at all, they say you're lying, you're completely lying. So what are they trying to do? If you're lying, the slave was never released. So to make kuli evet the rabbi shalom, they have to pay the entire value of the evet. Elapshito the kamoidu kulu b'chabala. Everybody agrees that there was here a damage of an eye and a tooth. Therefore, he's released. So what's the discussion? What came first? Did the eye came first, and then the tooth, and the eye? You turned it around, and you did a hazam. What's the case? Okay, so then now is going to go to details. So it was the same way the end of the brisa. It's talking about Avchinu Ve'azminu. I mean, the second eidim came. They were amazing the first eidim and turned around the story. And they admit what the first eidim said is correct. The Evet is released. And he deserves money. The only discussion is, first of all, you lied about it because you weren't there. And the second point is the amount of money that you asked, which is this. No, it's really this amount of money. That was all. So because the Seif is talking about that case, the Reish is also talking about that case. It says the Gemara, Ve'echidami. What's exactly, how does that Zalman work? Either coming achuri ani basroi, meaning they're coming and saying that it happened later. They say everything happened later, right? The first eidim say it happened on Sunday. It's like when they say it happened on Monday. Akati me every the rabbi shlumi. They still have to pay the full amount. So two eidim came and said, "Oh, on Sunday your evidence is released on Sunday." Come to the two eidim says, "You're lying. You weren't there." On Monday is released. So you have to pay for the fact that he wanted to take the evidence out on Sunday. that full day. They want to take it out. Right? As Rashi says, not chayav then. He has to pay for the full habit. So the second 18 that they are, the first set of 18, they lied. They lied. The fact that the next day you really had to release his habit was have to do with the first 18. The first 18 was a complete lie, and you have to pay for the fact that you wanted to release the habit. Just take this into account. Let's say you have a case that a person wanted to release a habit, and then with 18 Zayimim, he wanted to cause the habit to be released. The next day the habit dies. Does he have to pay? Of course he has to pay. That's 18 Zayimim. You attempted to do it, the Torah said you have to pay for the full habit. So if this happened on Sunday, the second 18 came and said they happened on Monday, it was much, you still 18 Zayimim. No. The first 18 said it happened on the Sunday. The second 18 said no, it happened on Shabbos. It happened. If you didn't go on the Bedin, if he said, now Shabbos is not a good example because he couldn't be on the Let's happen on Friday. The second set of said it happened on Friday. But if it was not on the Bedin, it's not chayav, it's a knas. You're not chayav if you're not on the Bedin. So he's not chayav anything. So the second Eidim should be chayav because of Eidim Zoyim. In other words, the second set say it happened on Friday. And he went to Beis Din, and he's chayav to pay. So he's already obligated. Came the second Eidim and says you chayav to pay. They're not causing to pay more than he has to. He already has to chayav to pay. So that's why they don't have to pay for that. They only have to pay for what they did want to cause him to pay more, which is the eye more than the tooth. You get the Rava Mehecha. Why Rava understood that the bride is talking about a 3-stage process, as we said before, right? They came to Eidim and said one thing, came another Eidim and said the opposite, and then came a third set and made them Zayim. So you see, you're a Chosh Chesazam, the beginning was a Chosh, then a Zama. Why do you think it's a 3-stage? Either in the ratio, in the first case that we saw in the previous Amud, that the Eidim that are Muzamim are the ones who said that the tooth came last. Right? That's why this master is very happy. It was first eye, then tooth. So ratio Mika Mikatchashe Mitzioi. The middle was not, there's no Chosha. Kivan Diloi Mitzvah Sadusa Kavasai Kakaimo. Tadina Kavasai Paskina. Tesh Bechal Batai money. What's the case in the ratio of the Mishnah, in the ratio of the Brisa? I think we're going back to the previous Amud, but we're going back to this. Well, what's the case? What's the case? The case is like this. 2 Eidim came and said, tooth, then eye. I have to pay 100. The second Eidim say, eye, then tooth. I have to pay 10. They didn't cause more damage. They're not mukhash. They just lowered what you're supposed to do. So the $10 that they said is going to be paid anyway, because everybody agreed to pay $10. The 90, the first Eidim are mukhash, not them. So Rambam said, oh, you have a kosher chesazama. No, a kosher is against the first, not against the second. Amalei Rava Sova Midiresh B'Shalosh Kisais Sefer Nari B'Shalosh V'Dig M'Sefer. Said no. It's the Rava's Rai is not from the ratio of the Brisa, so the Sefer of the Brisa. And he understands the Sefer of the Brisa speaks about 3 sets of Eidim, like the ratio. What's the case? It explains. He took at his tooth, then the eye. Okay? You have to pay for the eye, $100. No, first the eye, then the tooth. It's not $100, only $10. They can be and they say the first one that said $100, they're mukhash. It's not 100, it's 10. The first 80 becomes Zayimim. So first of all, they were denied. They said 100, they didn't even say 10. That's stage 1. Stage 2, they became Zayimim. If you hold the ones you denied, there's no Azama, and before it became Zayimim, they already were denied. No, you see from here, that denying Eidim is the stage 1 of the process of Azama, and therefore I do a Chasha, and then I do Hazama, and it's fine. The Hazama is ending of the process. It's not considered to be that the Eidus was pushed away, and you can't do Hazama anymore. There says Bishul the Reish, I agree. We talk about Shalosh Kisses. Now, like we said in the end of the previous daf. The Rav is happy. How is Rav happy? What is Rav happy? If you're talking about that there was only one set of 18, they came and said, first the eye, then the tooth. How is he happy with them? Without them, he wouldn't have anything. So you have to say the first came Eitus and said tooth then eye. Then came the second set and said eye then tooth. The master says, oh, I'm so happy you're saying that. I don't have to be 100, I have to be only 10. So but you need the first 80 for him to be happy with the second 80. Not like we said in the previous daf. It's interesting, more than I mentioned in the second daf, previous daf. Ela Seifa Lamli Shosh Kiz. Why have to say the Seifa is three groups? Because it says that the slave is happy. Of course, everyone's happy for everything. Any angels to come that says that something happened over here releases him. So he's very happy with it. So in other words, says Abaya, who's forcing you to say that there's 3 stages of Edus? And the second one are Makrish, the first, and then the third, and then the third one are amazing, the first. That's you know Akosh Tesazama. Maybe there's only 2 sets of 80. And the second set are amazing, the first, and Makrish, the first. And it says that the Evan is happy. The Evan is happy because he's happy with his Edus. Because he's going to be released. Now the one, so that was the outcome of the sugya. I mean, it was difficult cheshbonis in the sugya, but the Gemara here concludes it. Rava wanted to bring a riot from here of Akosh Tesazama because Rava understands this is a 3-stage process. Second set of Edim are denying the first set of Edim. The third set of Edim are amazing the first set of Edim. You see that's no problem. It's considered to be one long process. That's how the Rava brings it. He says, no, it's not 3 sets of Edim, it's only 2 sets of Edim. And the second ones are amazing them and makrish them, and therefore you don't see it for you a Akosh Tesazama. Now this is the more side point. Not because there, Ema Sibes Einoi, when the final base, Nefug Be'enu, Ibu Sheino, Nefug Be'Sheino. When you think of the eye, it should be released because of the eye. Think of the tooth, it should be released because of the tooth. Sibes Einoi, Ibu Sheino, Nefug Be'enu Be'Sheino. Who says you go out with the eye, then you pay for the tooth? Maybe it's release with the eye and tooth together. Both release it. Amar Baya Lechol Makol, that the pasuk says, Takas Einoi, Lo Takas Einoi Be'Shinoi. He was released for the eye only, for the tooth only, not for both. We also have a price like that. You have he stole with 2, and he did tvich with the same edim, and you find there's zoymim. That's the whole thing. My love, they testified on the gnevo. And then they went and they made on Tvicha. So first they said they made on Sunday and Gnevo and Monday and Tvicha, like we wanted to say before. If it was well like Gnevo, then became Zayim and Gnevo. The Chazu was well Tvicha. It became Zayim for the Sunday Edus, then later for the Monday Edus. If I came and chose well like Gnevo, once it became Zayim and Gnevo, like a Beit Tvicha, that's what we saw yesterday in the previous daf. Once you say that there's no Gnevo, so the second Edus doesn't have, they're already aim psulim, and you don't trust them with the second edus. If by denying them, it's not beginning of the azamo, why are they paying for the tvicha? They already were denied. So you see like this, they were tested on Sunday, they become puzzle. Monday, it's mukash, but that's the beginning of the process. Once it became Muslim, you had the process. You see, you could start Hazama by just denying the Edim. I'm basically going, no. Oh, no. We're talking about, like the Gemara said in the previous daf, they first did Hazama on Monday, and then Hazama on Sunday. That's what happened. So the Gemara plukta Edim Shukashu, and then the Gemara asked on Sunday, what about, you say Mikor Uzayim, so he's possible in Afreya. So the Gemara says, let's look at the Dibur. Right? That was yesterday's daf. Similar Plukto, this is all the machlekes of the following. This machlekes is the following machlekes. Eidim shu khashu osef huzma. They were mukash, and then they had muzah. One says they get killed. One says they don't get killed. No, machlekes are precious. So what is time? The blows who do ein erogim. Blows the one who says they're not killed. Toma blows the eidim shu khashu benefesh loikim. become mukhash b'nefesh, they get malchus. If they were denied. If they said something happened, if someone says, no, you're lying, you give them malchus. Understand what does it mean? Why do you get malchus? But you want people to get in other words, if you find out, they won't explain in a second. Why give them malchus? Well, who said they're lying? But they said this guy killed. Don't even say you're lying. It's not true. Not in hazama. You give them malchus. If you hold it, they still can be killed. If you find out that they were zoyim eventually, in my loikim, why do you get malchus? How do you allow shenit and lazor is basic? Well, any time you can die for something, you don't get malchus for it. The kolav shenit and lazor is any allowed you can misa for it, ain't loikim alav. You don't get malchus. So, Rabban is the one who says they do not get killed. Once there was a kosher, it's over. Azama won't work. So you give the malchus. Says the Gemara, Loikim traininu, my chad is samchas hani swechani. You have two eighty that said the guy killed. You have two eighty that says he didn't kill. Why are you giving malchus to the first one? Says the Gemara, we're talking the guy who you claim he killed. He came, he's alive. Clearly you lied. You're clearly lied. Eidim said Reuben killed Shimon. Shimon comes, hi, I'm alive. Clearly they lied about it. So that's why they get malchus for that. Okay. So the Mishnah. Now the Mishnah is the flip of the previous Mishnah. Here's the two. There's only one aid that did tvicha mechira. Or al piatzma, who himself said that he did tvicha. Mishat tishlu mikef, he pays double. Because you don't have two aidim on the tvicha mechira. Kol v'torah b'Shabbos, he did on Shabbos, he's chayav misa. Kol v'torah v'duzor, he's chayav misa. Kol v'shil aviv, he stole from his father. Umei Sovi, the father died. And then he did tvicha mechira. So what happened here? He already inherited at least portion of it, as we learned on the daf of Shabbos. Kol v'higdish, he did igreva, then he did hegdish. It already belongs to hegdish. In all these cases, there's no chiyuv dalvei, either because he's chayav misa, or because he owns it, or because hegdish owns it. There's no dalvei, only kiv. By kotshim, it depends. If he's responsible for it, so then potter mitashlumi dalvei. Then doesn't pay dalvei. Sorry, he does pay dalvei because he's responsible for it. So if the owner is responsible for it and the ganav stole it, he has to pay for it because he's going in the moment. As I said before, he's causing him to lose money. If he doesn't have responsibility, then he's potter because it's hektish. Says the Gemara, there's only one aid. Of course, he doesn't have. You learn that when a person testifies on himself, it's similar to one aid. One aid came and testified. Not good enough. What comes? It came another aid later and showing the aid of the first one. They join together. It can be reversible. If he said himself, I shecht the animal, came out them afterward, aided afterwards, it's reversible. It's coming to exclude what Ravuna Marav said. Once a person is moed beknas, if aidim come afterwards, it's irreversible. You can't come and bring it back to Mechav Knas, and that will be the sugi that we're going to start learning in tomorrow's daf. So we're just middag for a Mishnah. We're putting together Eidechot and Atzvot to say they're equivalent. Eidechot is reversible. Comes another aid, it becomes Eidus. He himself also. If came to Eidim, now it's reversible and he's chayav in the Knas. They say the Gemara, they say.